Whoa. I had to change the logos here manually. So give me just a second and I'll get that fixed. All right, there we go. All right. Aaron Judge ties it up. That's the end of the inning, the end of the fourth. But Judge ties it up with a 3-run blast off the pole. He stood there and watched it, and finally he gets it. Amazing game here. Thank you for switching over and joining me for this game. Where is the link? Where is the link? There it is. Yes, finally, here we are. Games of Culture, Angel, Games of Culture. Yes, this is a great game. Great game so far. Thank you, everyone, for hanging with me in the Tigers Mariners game. The Tigers gave it a little run in the ninth, but couldn't quite come up with what they needed. And that's it. That final score was 8-4. Ended with a line drive double play, unassisted by Joe Naylor. Josh Naylor. Joe Naylor. What in the world? Why is this logo so big on the screen? That's crazy. Let me resize that. There we go. That's better. All right. Okay, I think everything is right now. Okay, we're here. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate everyone clocking in, checking in. I need to restart my my script for my... There we go. Now it's correct. Current viewers 41, that's right. I had to restart my script for my viewers and subscribers. I do appreciate you all being here. Yeah, it was a shot, Doug, you're right, over the top of the pole. Yeah, it was a monster blast, that's for sure. Monster blast for sure. Hey, Still Viper with my second super chat of the day. Thank you, sir. That is much appreciated. $20 super chat from Still Viper, who says double header at the Go Dome. That's right. Go Dome. Still Viper super chat. Heck yes, thank you very much for that. Much appreciated, sir. Much appreciated. What a great day of baseball. Both of these games look like they were over. One turned out to be over, but this one is now tied. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2 is the count to Varsho. Camilo Doval is on the mound right now for the Yankees. He's up to 6 pitches, 5 in the zone. It is a tie game, a brand new game right now. Here's the toss in the dirt, 1-2. What a game that was. I mean, I know it was mostly unfortunate for the Tigers for most of the game, but they did make it kind of interesting in the very end, right? Here comes a 1-2 pitch to Varsho. Swing and a miss. He chased it in the dirt. Strike 3. That's 1 down here in the top of the 5th. This postseason, Aaron Judge has 11 hits. It's his postseason career high. 4 RBIs, also a postseason career high in 1 game. 3 hits. He ties his postseason career high. So he's hitting a lot of records today. That's his 6th home run when his team is facing elimination. He takes the lead, I think, all time for the Yankees. He was tied. 99 miles an hour. Misses the strike zone. Ernie Clement at the plate for the Blue Jays. Anthony Santander on deck. Here comes the pitch from Duvall. That's hit hard to left field. That might be gone, or is it going to stay in? It's off the wall. It bounces off the wall. Bellinger brings it in. It's going to be a double, stand-up double for Clement. The Blue Jays have another runner on, and Clement is 2 for 2 today. Slider right in the middle of the plate. No movement at all, and it got punished. He's lucky it stayed in the park, but the Blue Jays have a runner in scoring position. JD. Take it easy. Take it easy on Darryl. Here's the pitch. Outside. Ball 1 to Santander. Santander is 1 for 2 today. He has a single in the 3rd. Regular season batting 175. Here comes the toss. Fouls it off. Oh, no, Clement is 3 for 3 today. I'm sorry. I thought he was 2 for 2. The information didn't update. He's 3 for 3. Here's a pitch. Santander rips it into right field, and that's going to be caught by Judge. Nice diving catch on that line drive. Out number 2. The crowd goes crazy. Darryl says that Seattle wins a close one tomorrow. Camilo Duvall is going to be pulled out for a reliever. So we're going to be on a commercial break, and that's perfect for me because finally I have an opportunity to go take a short rest, if you know what I mean. I need to get rid of some liquid, so to speak. And I'm going to get my hot water so I can make my next cup of coffee. I'll be right back. This game is tied up 6-6. The Blue Jays have a runner on second base with 2 outs. Tim Hill is going to be the new pitcher for the Yankees. Be right back. All right, got my freshly boiled water. Freshly boiled mountain mineral water. Tim Hill is on the mound for the Yankees, facing Addison Barger. Swings at that first pitch and gets nothing but air. Strike one. Tim Hill has a 4.4 regular season record with a 3.09 ERA. Next pitch. Misses the mark a little bit. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner on second. Clement is on second base. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Got around a little late on it. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Barger. Barger, the third baseman who made the error earlier, misplayed that fly ball to left field. Here's the toss. This is grounded foul. Count remains 1-2. We had the rain delay earlier, the massive rain delay. I wonder how much that affected the players and the game, you know? Those are the things that you'll never really be able to guess. You can only speculate about. Hey, Patrick. He says, go Jays. That's inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm looking around trying to find my stuff. I moved everything around yesterday. I can't find where my stuff is located. My coffee filters are right here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Tim Hill. Oh, boy, ain't right. Tim Hill, who looks like he's a great grandpa, hopping on the mound after that strikeout. Doesn't he look like he's about 78 years old? How can he look so old and be a pitcher in the major leagues? But that's out number 3. The Blue Jays strand a runner on second base. And that's going to be it in the 5th inning. The Yankees with an opportunity to take the lead here. Giancarlo Stanton comes up to the plate to start it off in just a few moments. Jazz Chisholm Jr. on deck. And Ahmed Rosario in the hole. Daryl says Astros should trade Walker for Aaron Judge. That would work. You know, I would trade everybody. I would trade everybody in the lineup except for Altuve to get Aaron Judge. And then we can just fill it in with a bunch of our bad minor league guys. It's okay. We can rebuild around him. We can have Altuve batting maybe second, right? We can find some guy to bat first. We can let Altuve bat second. And then we can have Judge batting third. That'd be fine with me. Now, if Judge were on the Astros team right now, would you guys have him batting second after Pena? Or would you put 2 guys before him and have him bat third? What would you do? I think with Pena batting first, I'd put Judge second. That would be what I would do. Now, if Gordon is hitting really well and he's really hot, I would also like him to be second. But right now, yeah, I mean, I'd like to keep Correa, but the only reason I mention Altuve is because Altuve is my heart and soul, you know. But I wouldn't want to lose any of those guys. I wouldn't want to lose Pena or Correa. Definitely not Alvarez. But how amazing would it be if the Astros had Judge on their team as it is now? Pena leading it off, Altuve, Judge, Alvarez. A really powerful right-hander with a very, really powerful left-hander back-to-back. How amazing will that be, right? I mean, what do you do when you're the opposing team? How do you pitch to teams like that? It's difficult. Stanton is at the plate, 100 miles an hour by Varland, right in there. Strike 1. Stanton leading it off for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the toss. Low and outside. Nolan Ryan's reliever. Fisher is in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. Next pitch to Stanton is low for ball 2, 2-1. Shake says Judge doesn't show up. Sounds good, but I don't know. Here comes the next pitch. Low and outside, 3-1 to Stanton. I wonder if this is the last batter that Varlin will face. Here comes the toss. 100 on the outside edge, fouled off. The count is now full. The count is now full. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch on the knuckle curve. Strikes him out. 1 down. Jazz Chisholm Jr. comes to the plate next. Raymond wants to know if I'm on all baseball games tomorrow. Well, there are no football games. I'm only doing the Texans football games. Here's the pitch. Chisholm goes around. Did he swing? No, they say he didn't. That's in the dirt. Ball 1. Yes, Shake, that's right. Hit that like button, please. How many likes do I have? I don't have it on the screen. I just have my subscribers and the current viewers. Here's the pitch. He swings at that one, fouls it off. Counts 1-1 with 1 out. Nobody on. Bottom of the 5th. This game's tied at 6. Chisholm facing Varland. There are no football games tomorrow. And Rockets are only doing preseason right now. And I haven't built my scoreboard and got that ready yet. That's hit hard to right field, and that's going to be a homer. Chisholm in the upper deck. Yankees take the lead, 7-6. Jazz Chisholm crushes that ball. I am surprised that they left Varlin in to face Chisholm. You heard me say it earlier. I thought for sure that the last batter would be it. I thought that Stanton would be the last batter that Varlin faced. And they left him in there. 409 feet. 109 miles per hour. The Yankees have come back. They were down 5 runs, and now they are up by 1. It's 7-6. In the bottom of the 5th. And they might be pulling Varlin out right now. They're on to the way to the mound. Right in there. No doubter. As soon as it was hit, Varlin went down to the ground. He's like, no. Way up there in the upper deck. And they're going to take a break as we have a pitching change. 7 hits for the Yankees, 8 for the Blue Jays. 2 errors for the Blue Jays, none for the Yankees. And the Yankees just took the lead in the 5th, 7-6. Yeah, Fromber looks like he's going to cut ties with the Astros. I'm not surprised. The Framburglar. Yeah, I wonder if I can see. Can I see my likes? Let me see. I see the viewers and the subscribers, but I'm not sure if I can see the likes or not. I know that there's a way to put likes on the screen, but I haven't taken the time to figure it out. It was more important to me to get the subscribers and the viewers on the screen so I can see that information. But yes, very much so. I appreciate you all putting a like on the video. I mean, I'm feeling okay. I think that even though it's been a long day, once again, with the rain delay that and going back and forth between games. It's been an interesting day, and I feel okay, thankfully. But if you can't donate a little coin, at the very least, I'd appreciate you liking the live stream. That would be very nice of you because I don't have many viewers right now. Only have about 48. But you know what? It's kind of sad because right now, if you go over to some of the big channels like John Boy, somebody pointed this out to me. One of my subscribers pointed this out to me the other day. He said that if you go over to John Boy, they're doing a watch party, but it's just a few guys sitting on recliners, being ridiculous, yelling at the game and commenting on the game. They're not calling it. This is hit out in the left field. That's going to be another hit. Rosario is going to have a double. He's headed to second. Here's the throw, but it's cut off. He's in there. The Yankees continuing to hit the ball. Braden Fisher is on the mound for the Blue Jays. But there's only one out in this inning, and the Yankees have another guy on base in scoring position. The hits are now tied up. 8 for the Yankees and 8 for the Blue Jays. And that brings up Anthony Volpe. Here comes the toss. Right on the outside edge for strike one. 90-mile-per-hour pitch. There we go. Here's the next pitch in the dirt, low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Anthony Volpe. But it's sad, to me to see that there's so much value here for people interested in the game, and yet somebody who's not even giving information about the game and limited info on the screen has thousands of views while I struggled to get to 100 at one time. That's crazy. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Volpe. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Volpe. Runner on second, 1 out. The only way I can get more exposure right now really is for you guys to like the live stream, share it, comment. Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate it. Here's the pitch. And, I will say this, I'm not going to toot my own horn about my commentary or anything like that. But actually, the amount of information that I put on the screen, the live information that I put on the screen, I've looked around at all of the top live play-by-play guys, the guys who are actually doing live play-by-play, because John Boy's not doing live play-by-play. The count is 3-2 to Volpe. Here comes the pitch from Fisher. Fouls it off. Slider, low in the zone. Off into the crowd. The count remains 3-2. But if you go to one of those big channels like that, they're just doing like a watch party. There is no play-by-play. They have like the score on the screen and maybe the inning, but that's it. You don't get any other information. I'm giving you all the information that I can possibly think of to give you. Swing and a miss, a half a swing by Volpe on a high pitch, a 90-mile-per-hour pitch, and he struck him out. That's out number 2. Little is in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. Austin Wells comes to the plate. So my thinking is that the value you get here is about 1 million times higher than what you get on a channel that does a live reaction. I mean, who cares about live reactions? I've never been interested in watching live reactions. Even if it's an Astros game, why would I do that? Why would I sit and watch 3 guys sitting around in a recliner watching the Astros game if I can't hear the game or get a live play-by-play? I don't understand that. Here is the 0-1 pitch. Outside check swing. They say he did not go. 1 ball, 1 strike to Wells. Rosario on second base with 2 outs. The 1-ball, 1-strike count to Wells. Swing and a miss. Beautiful curveball. 1-2 is the count. I don't know how else to get my channel out there to more people, so I have to rely on you good people to spread the word, and liking the live stream is part of that. Part of that success. Takes a long time, unfortunately. Sometimes it just takes way too long to build the channel. You know what I'm saying? Here's the 1-2 pitch to Wells. That's ground ball to the right side, and it's going to be through. Might score a run. Here's the throw. They wave him in. Here it comes. He's in there easily. And Wells goes to second base, and they throw him out at second for out number 3. Wells was stretching at second base. The throw comes in off target at home. The run does score. Wow, it looked like he might have been in there, but apparently they're not going to challenge it. But that's another run for the Yankees. It's 8-6. They get 2 runs. They get the home run. And then the single by Wells to drive in Rosario. The Yankees find themselves up by 2. The Blue Jays were up by 5. And now they're down by 2. That is a 7-run swing. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Yeah, Daryl says, you always get my vote. If you build it, they will come. Well, I've definitely built it, and I've spent a tremendous amount of hours. I don't really understand why nobody else has done that. You know, I put a lot of effort into building the code. Now, I will say, of course, I could not have done the things that I've done on my channel without the use of AI tools. I don't care what people say about AI tools. Seriously, I'm not a coder. I can't even consider myself a basic coder. I can modify HTML and JavaScript and style sheets. I can do basic code copying, pasting, and minor modifications. I do that every day. But understanding coding language, I have almost no understanding of that, and I have to rely 100% on AI to create my codes. The ideas for my layouts, the way it looks, the appearance, the information, etc., 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 it all comes from my head. So I have to spend a decent amount of time describing to the AI what I want it to look like. One of the things that I do, and this is really cool that the AI is able to do this, I actually go into my picture editor, okay? And I build a screen, what I want it to look like. And then I show that to AI, and I say, I need you to build me an overlay for my live stream that shows this layout, and it builds that for me. But then we have to go back into the code and connect it to the APIs so that the game information comes up. Andres Jimenez is at the plate facing Tim Hill. That first pitch is a ball. But it takes quite a bit of time to get all those things worked out because there are always bugs and glitches, and then you want to modify things, and things aren't quite here or there, and you're constantly having to modify. But over time, it gets better and better and better, right? 1-ball, 1-strike. Jimenez fouls it off down the third base line, and that will be strike 2. 1-2 is the count. Yeah, that's right, Daryl. Always learning. Always learning. And to be honest, I don't like coding. It would be nice if I understood it really, really well, but I have no desire to study it and learn it. This is hit into right field, a little line drive, but Judge is going to be able to get to it no problem for out number 1. Top of the 6th, 1 up and 1 down. George Springer comes to the plate. Hasn't done anything yet today. No hits, 2 strikeouts, and he has left 2 runners on base. Springer has lost 2 lobsters to the waves of the ocean. Here's the first pitch. A little outside. Still waiting for that Springer dinger. That's right. Things always change. Always see new things. Yeah, we always see things we've never seen before. Here's the pitch, the 1-0. High and outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Springer. 1 out, nobody on. Whew. I'm going to try to get comfortable here. A little more comfortable. It is kind of warm in here. Fouled off. 2 balls and 1 strike. Guerrero Jr. in the hole. Davis Schneider on deck. Here comes the pitch to Springer. Ooh, inside edge. 88 mile per hour fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. That's a bouncer to the third base side, picked up by Volpe, and he fires it over to first base. Springer grounds out for out number 2. Yankees fighting hard not to be swept. Fighting hard not to be swept. Yankees fans pulled out the brooms. And then they had to put the brooms in the corner for now. They might not need them. We'll see. Davis Schneider at the plate. He hits the first one pretty hard, way up in the sky. Should be playable. Bellinger back has a little trouble with it floating around, but he grabs it. And Grandpa Hill gets out of this inning too. That's it for the top of the 6th. The Blue Jays go 1-2-3. Braden Fisher, I'm assuming he will be back on the mound for the Blue Jays, should be facing Trent Grisham, the very top of the lineup for the Yankees, followed by Aaron Judge and Cody Bellinger. Let's take a look at our like count, shall we? Let's see. Just 25 likes? Are you kidding me? There are 60 people watching right now. And there are only 25 likes on the live stream? That's less than half. It's terrible. Come on now, hook me up. Am I going to have to make the live stream members only? Make everybody join for like $1 a month if you want to see the live stream. Landon, I am doing the live stream, so yes, I saw them. You know the reason that Judge and Jazz were able to hit homers, don't you? It's because no matter what the weather is, no matter how heavy the rain or the snow or how hot or how cold, it doesn't matter. The Yankees always play. They never have rain delays or weather delays. They never stop the game for any reason at all. You know, actually, during right in the days following 9/11, the Yankees were the only team to continue to play, even though all of the other teams took a break because of obvious reasons. The Yankees played baseball anyway. There was nobody to play because the other teams didn't play, but the Yankees went out and played because that's what the Yankees do. They're special. They play when all the other teams don't play. That's funny. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you didn't see the conversation earlier that we had with Landon. is 28 better? Hmm? 28 what? Brendan Little is on the mound now for the Blue Jays. Hey, I'm just making fun of you because you said things earlier that literally didn't make any sense at all. I mean, seriously, nobody in the chat, everybody was laughing at your comments because what you said literally didn't make any sense. And watch your language in the chat, please. Don't make me put you in timeout. Here's a 0-1 pitch. Low and outside in the dirt. And by the way, hey, if the Yankees extend the series, it's fine for me. It's just an extra game that I can do. Aaron Judge is on deck. No outs. Trent Grisham at the plate with a 1-1 count. Here comes the toss. Swing and a miss, 94 miles an hour. Strike 2. Yankees up 8-6. 9 hits versus the Blue Jays 8 hits. This game has been crazy. The whole day has been crazy. The Tigers and the Mariners started off in a rain delay. I was hoping that game would get canceled so I could do all of that game at another time and then do all of this one, but it didn't work out that way. Grisham hits it out into center field. Snagged by Varsho for out number 1. Aaron Judge comes up to the plate with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the 6th. Yeah, Judge's homer earlier off the pole was 373 feet. Not as far as we were thinking. It was very high, though. Very high. Fastball. That was the one he missed before he hit the homer. And the next time, he swung early on the inside right there and got it off the pole. So he was just swinging for the same pitch. First pitch. Oh, Judge is not batting. They walk him. Bellinger's at the plate, and he hits that one out into right field, and he misses it. The diving catch, and he misses it, and they bobble it around. Judge is going to head over to third, and Bellinger is on second base. Santander makes a terrible play on that ball. That looked really, really bad. I don't know what kind of a defender Santander is, but this play right here was terrible. Look at that. And he just lays there on the ground afterwards. Totally misplayed. 1 out, runners on second and third. Once again, Blue Jays defense not doing them any favors. Outside. Ben Rice is at the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Outside again, low and outside. Little is behind in the count, 2-0. Have you been Rice? No, but I've been reaching on errors. He's over 3 today, but he did get on first base on an error. So there we go. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Rice. Little Rice. And he hits that one hard out to right field. Might be a tag. Santander's got it. Judge will easily tag and score. And it is 9-6. 2 down. And that's what you get for intentionally walking Judge. He went down and got that one. He drove it just far enough to get the sacrifice fly. Runner on second with 2 outs, and Giancarlo Stanton comes to the plate. Daryl says one thing Astros fans have that the Yankee fans don't. It's called class. Yeah, the Astros fans do have a lot more class. I mean, the Yankees fans in general, known to be pretty rowdy. That's going to be it for Brendan Little. He's going to come out of the game. Another pitching change for the Blue Jays. Here he comes. Stanton will be facing the new pitcher. He's 1 for 2 today. With 2 RBIs off of 1 hit. Yeah, that's right, Daryl. The Blue Jays are definitely beating themselves right now. They've made a couple of boneheaded plays on defense. They did not give him an error on that missed catch, believe it or not. I think they should have. I believe that was a playable ball. Ten hits now for the Yankees, 8 for the Blue Jays. It's 9-6. The Blue Jays started off the first 3 innings on fire. At the end of 3, it was 6-3. But the Yankees started to come back in the third, and since then they've scored at least 1 run every inning. They scored 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and 1 in the sixth. And right now we are still in the sixth with a runner on second and 2 outs for Giancarlo Stanton, who will be facing the new pitcher. Let's see here. We are still at just 25 likes. That can't be right. Let me reload the page. That's got to be wrong. 31 likes. Okay, that's a little better. That's still not great. Still need about 37 to 40 likes to get it up there. If you have not liked the live stream, thank you for doing that now. I appreciate it. Also, thank you for sending me lots and lots of super chats. I know you want me to eat really well. Instead of a $5 all-day breakfast, you can buy me a $25 steak lunch. Here's the pitch. 88 miles an hour up and in to Stanton for strike 1. Yariel Rodriguez on the mound for the Blue Jays. There he is right there. He looks a little like Victor Caratini. This is a tapper at the plate, taken by Kirk, and throws it over to first base on an easy out. That was a lucky break for the Blue Jays. Good play by Kirk. Captain Kirk behind the plate as catcher throws it the first to get the out. And that's 3. Doug says this one is going to be a late one here on the East Coast. I bet. The Jags beating the Chiefs was a shocker. I don't know. A couple people were talking about how they weren't really surprised because they think the Chiefs have been kind of coming apart. But to be honest, I don't know. I haven't been following the Chiefs. I try to stay as far away from them as I can. I stays away from them, I does. I wonder what my final stats were. Wow, my Mariners Tigers live stream was over 6 hours. That's crazy. Crazy. That's crazy. I want to take a look at my stats right quick and see. There we go. 95 people simultaneously watching was the peak. 2,700 views, that's pretty high. 321 hours of total watch time by viewers. Average view time duration per viewer 7 minutes and 8 seconds. And super chat total $5. I made $5 on a 6-hour live stream. As long as I can keep my ad revenue and I don't get the crap copyrighted out of me by MLB, then I might make, if I'm lucky, $10 or $12 extra. So I think that 6 hours of live streaming, I might make a total after YouTube's cut. If I'm really lucky, maybe I'll make close to $15, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Devin Williams is on the mound now for the Yankees. He's facing Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 95 right in there. Guerrero having a really good day, though. A single, intentionally walked, a home run, 2-run homer. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. High. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, Daryl, I think the Texans have it in them to beat pretty much any team right now. They really do. They just need to focus. If they are focused, they can do it. 2 balls and 1 strike. That one was up and in. Guerrero Jr. at the plate. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Williams. 95 fouled away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Texans will not be playing this weekend, but they have a Monday night game coming up next week. So they have a nice little break to rest, recover, and get ready. Here's the pitch. 2-2, way outside and low. Full count. 6-9 is the score here in New York. The crowd is pretty quiet right now, just sitting around not really doing anything. This is hit into center field, but 2 are over and they run into each other. They both call for it. Chisholm and Volpe. Absolutely zero communication there. Both of them call for it. Neither of them back off. They run into each other. And somehow Volpe was able to... No, I'm sorry. I think that was Chisholm that was able to catch it. A couple of boneheaded defensive guys. They got lucky that they actually caught it. Kirk is at the plate with 1 out, nobody on. 96 right in there, strike 1. 44 watching right now. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you joining. Kirk fouls that one off. The count's 0-2. Captain Kirk, start date October 7, 2025, and the score has not gone the way of the Starship Enterprise. We faced an easy game, then it got away, and now I'm in the hole 0-2. There's a 0-2. That's a high pitch. 1-2. Daryl says they forgot their hearing aids. Yeah, they can't hear the prompts, right? Get up and cheer. Here's the pitch. He fouls that one off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kirk is 0 for 3 today, looking for his first hit. Here comes a 1-2 from Williams. Low and inside, fouled away again. Count remains 1-2. Did anybody watch the Rockets game versus the Hawks? Atlanta Hawks? The preseason game? Didn't look too bad. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's hit hard out to right field. It's all the way out to the wall. Caught right at the wall by Grisham. Right center field. Deep drive, but not deep enough. Dalton Varsho. Speaking of center fielder, Varsho comes to the plate. With 1 down, I'm sorry, two outs, 2 down. My bad. I corrected myself. Devin Williams on the mound. 12 pitches, 8 of those in the zone. Here comes the first pitch to Varsho. He hits that one out to left field, but it soars into the crowd for out number 1. Varsho's 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 97 up and in, swing and a miss on the fastball. 0-2. 1 strike away from getting out of this inning and moving into the 8th. The crowd slowly and lethargically stands to their feet and starts cheering. Devin Williams with the 0-2 pitch to Varsho. Up and in, ball 1. 1-2 is the count. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. 97-mile-per-hour pitch above the zone. Varsho went after it, couldn't get it. Strikes him out. Yankees fighting to avoid the 3-game sweep here in the postseason in New York. It's 9-6 right now. They've been able to come back and take a decent lead. They've got a 3-run cushion right now. Rodriguez appears to be back on the mound for the Blue Jays in just a moment. He'll be facing Jazz Chisholm, Jose Caballero, and Anthony Volpe. Let's see here. Caballero batting for Rosario, and Rosario pinch hit earlier for McMahon. Daryl wants to get a Kevin Durant Rockets jersey. How do you feel about that trade, by the way, Daryl? I read some articles about it, and there seemed to be some mixed responses to that trade. One of the things they mentioned was Kevin Durant having regular injury issues. He hasn't played very many games. You know, when he's in the game and he's playing, he's awesome. But they talked about how he just hasn't had like a full season of games, right? JD says, great job all day long on the streaming go. Fantastic work, and I really appreciate it. See you tomorrow. Thank you, JD. I guess you are off for the night to get some rest. So I wish you a good night. And sweet dreams. I can tell you in Japanese, yoi yumeo. It means sweet dreams. Basically, it means have a good dream. Oyosumi. Oyosumi nasai. It means good night. Daryl says, I thought it a gutsy move. Yeah, it is. I do wonder though. I feel like maybe in baseball terms, it would be like trading several guys to get like a Yordan Alvarez, because Alvarez is clearly an asset when he's healthy. Clearly a dangerous asset when he's healthy, but also too injury prone, right? So it's kind of like you take the good with the bad. Let's see if the Yankees are going to get shut down this inning or if they're going to put more runs on the board. They've scored every inning since the third, and they've managed to climb back. They've scored 8 runs in 4 innings, and they've got a 3-run lead over the Blue Jays right now, 6-9 in New York. Judge's new career highs. The Yankees would not have the lead right now if not for Judge. Judge has not only homered to drive in a few runs, but he's also been on base. He's had 3 hits. He's got 4 RBIs, 1 walk, and he himself has scored 3 times. If not for his contribution, they would not even have this game tied right now. That's the truth. Got about 40 people viewing. Please put a like on the live stream if you have not done so already. And by the way, we've cleared 1310 viewers, or subscribers rather. 1,310 subscribers. Thank you so much. Today we cleared 1,300, and that was a nice accomplishment. But then we added 10 more and went over 1310. So I appreciate you for all of those extra subscribers that we have today. Thank you so much for being here. I plan to do the rest of the AL games and then all the way through the World Series. So I hope you can enjoy those with me and join me here. Join and enjoy. Yariel Rodriguez back on the mound for the Blue Jays. He has tossed just 2 pitches, both in the zone, and he's facing Jazz Chisholm, who's got a homer today. He's 1 for 2. Here's a toss. Nice pitch in the zone. 87-mile-per-hour slider, strike 1. 1 walk and a solo homer. Be sure to leave a like on the live stream if you haven't done so. 90 miles an hour below the zone, 1-1. I'm going to refresh my live stream right now and take a look and see how many likes we have. We're up to 36. We're almost there. We need 4 more to get to 40. My goal for the day is to be over 50. 91 miles an hour below the zone. 2-1 is the count to Chisholm. Bottom of the 7th. No outs. Nobody on. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And Chisholm loses his helmet. Kirk hands it back to him. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count is even. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. He hits that one out into left center, and it's going to be taken by Schneider, the left fielder, for out number 1. Jose Caballero is due up next. What is it today here in Japan? It is Wednesday. I've got limited options on where I can go to get a nice cheap meal, but I think I'm going to go to the Joyful's family restaurant to do the all-day breakfast. Take a little break, get out of here, stretch my legs. Rodriguez facing Paul Goldschmidt, who's in for Rosario, who was in for McMahon. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off. One ball and one strike to Goldschmidt. One out, one ball, one strike. Ground ball to the third base side. Barger picks it up and fires it over. Terrible throw in the dirt, but scooped up at first base for out number 1. I'm sorry, out number 2. My bad. I don't know why I said out number 1. Anthony Volpe due up next. Volpe with no hits today. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Low and inside. Strike. No, ball 1. Oh, okay. He called that a ball. Next pitch. Swing and a miss. That is a strike. 88-mile-per-hour pitch. Right in there. 2 outs, nobody on. 1 ball, 1 strike to Volpe. Is he trying to strike out again? We'll see. Rodriguez dealing. Here's a 1-1 toss. In the dirt. 88-mile-per-hour on the slider. He takes it for ball 2. 2-1 is the count. I've already got my other games scheduled for tomorrow. I hope you can all join me for those. Game 4 of each. Blue Jays do not come back. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Volpe. Here's a pitch. He swings and grounds it to Barger, who scoops it up and fires it over. Slightly better throw than the last one, and that's out number 3. 3 up and 3 down for Rodriguez and the Blue Jays. Couple of nice scoops by Barger. Questionable throws, but handled at first base to get the outs. That's the first clean inning that the Blue Jays have had since the 2nd inning. The Yankees have scored in every single inning except for the 2nd and the 7th. It is 9-6. 10 hits for the Yanks. 8 for the Jays. We are finished with 7 innings of ball, guys and gals. Top of the 8th coming up. Ernie Clement due up for the Blue Jays, followed by Anthony Santander and Addison Barger. Let's see if we got over 40. How close are we getting to 50 likes on the live stream? Maybe as we get closer to the end of the game, the number of viewers will go up. Right now, we're at 45. That's pretty low. I actually had a lot more viewers for the Tigers-Mariners game. That got up to about 85. But I think this live stream hasn't gotten to be more than about 50. It's been pretty low today. 46 watching, 38 likes, just 2 away from 40. I appreciate you liking the live stream if you haven't done so. I would really like to get this over 50 by the end of the game. We got 2 more innings to go. Don't wait until it's too late. Go ahead and get that like in right now. It has gotten quite warm here. I know that having the headset on and the computer and the TV on, all of this together makes it quite a warm environment right here. But I was kind of hoping that the weather outside would cool off again. It warmed up a lot yesterday, and I saw several snakes, lots of praying mantises. I saw some centipedes, lots of insects and reptiles coming out. Salamanders were out yesterday. Spiders were out. Everything was out yesterday. They're like, oh, we can come out and eat one more time while it's warm. Scurry out of our hiding spot, get some more food, and then go back into hibernation. Too many critters. Ernie Clement at the plate. Here's the pitch. Hi. Devin Williams is still on the mound for the Yankees. He's up to 17 pitches and 11 of those in the zone. Clement is on fire today with a double, 2 singles, a run scored, and an RBI. 3 for 3. Here's the pitch. Ooh, check swing on the 94-mile-per-hour pitch right in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes a 1-1 pitch from Williams. Way outside. So far outside, that couldn't be handled. Bounced right off of Wells's glove. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the 2-1 to Clement. He hits that one through the left side. That's a base hit for the Jays. They got a leadoff runner on here in the top of the 8th. That's interesting. The Blue Jays started the season off 26-28, 10-game win streak. Started off September poorly and then went on a 6-game streak at the end of September. They've been a little streaky at times. Anthony Santander 1 for 3 today with a single in the 3rd. He's at the plate facing Williams. He grounds that one foul down the first base side. Clement is on first base. No outs. 0-1 is the count. Tommy Nance is in the bullpen for the Blue Jays warming up. Might be seeing him soon. In the top of the 8th, or bottom of the 8th, rather. High check swing. Ball 1. Counts even. I appreciate all of my diehard listeners who've been in since the last game. I've been live streaming for like 7 hours now. Another ball. High and out of the zone. Devin Williams falling behind just a little bit from Santander. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That's in there. Santander thought about swinging, held up, but that's a strike. 96 on the inside. The count's even 2-2. Rusty Gamer, thank you so much. Rusty Gamer says, come on, Jays, let's rally, smash those stankies. Like goes like button. Yes, give that like button a little bit of love. Thank you so much. Here's the pitch. Up and in, a little check swing, 96 miles an hour. He held up, and it's a full count. The next pitch is on the way. Full count. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Santander goes down on the fastball. Devin Williams just kind of threw it by him right there. No excuse to miss that one. Swung underneath it. Man, that was a good pitch to hit. It was right in there. Just a bad swing. Well, it looks like they're not going to wait for Devin Williams to get another out. They're going to go ahead and bring in their main closer. The Yankees are pulling their guy right now. They're going to go ahead and pull in, looks like Vest. Is that who it is? They're going to go ahead and bring in their closer. They're going to, no, David Bednar. My bad. David Bednar is coming in. They're going to try to get him, it looks like, to go for 5 outs. So there's a runner on first here in the top of the 8th. The Blue Jays have Addison Barger coming to the plate next, followed by Andres Jimenez and then George Springer. So Barger and Jimenez are the bottom of the batting order. Springer is the top of the batting order. They're going to try to get Bednar to come in and shut it down. And then my guess is that they'll have him try to pitch to the Blue Jays in the top of the 9th. But we'll see how it works out. I don't necessarily think that they needed to bring Bednar in yet. I didn't see where there was any problem with Devin Williams. But who knows what Boone is thinking? Who knows? Got about 41 people following along. That seems to be the consistent number for this game. About 40 to 45, no more than that. It's interesting how much more popular the Mariners and Tigers game was than this one is. That's interesting. Barger walks to the plate. David Bednar with a 2.3 ERA, 27 of 30 saves, 62 and 2/3 innings pitched, 86 strikeouts, 19 walks. Runner on first, 1 out. Here's the first pitch to Barger. He rips it down the first base line, just barely foul. The very first pitch. 0-1 is the count. 0-2 today with 2 strikeouts is Barger. He is pinch hitting for Falefa. He came in a few innings ago. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded down to the second baseman. There's only one play at first. Too slow. Chisholm goes for the sure thing at first base, and that's out number 2. But the runner is in scoring position at second base. Andres Jimenez comes to the plate. Such a different feel for the Blue Jays. They started this first half off like they played the first 2 games. Now, there's still time for them to kick it in. You know, they have a tendency to do that, to start scoring all of a sudden. But they only have a few outs remaining. They've got 4 outs left to do something. First pitch is a ball to Jimenez. Here comes the next pitch from Bednar. That's in there. 77-mile-per-hour curveball. The count's even, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Here's the toss. That's grounded down the first baseline. Should be an easy 3rd out. And it is. Easy peasy. 1 hit, but no runs. Pretty easy inning. Bringing in Bednar actually works out. He's able to get out number 2 and out number 3 without throwing too many pitches. And we're on commercial break. Middle of the 8th right now. The Blue Jays failed to do anything in the top of the 8th. So in the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th, 5 straight innings, the Blue Jays do not answer. The Yankees just keep scoring runs from the 3rd through the 6th. The Blue Jays so far have not responded at the plate. They are down by 3, and the Yankees are going to have at least one more opportunity, 2 if they need it, to put some extra runs on the board. Let's take a look right quick and see how many likes we have on the live stream. How close are we to the 50 likes mark? 47 people watching and 43 likes. We are 7 likes short. And just so you all know, this channel is just me. I do everything myself. I do all of the site building, the code building. I do all of the live streaming myself. I respond to all the comments myself. I do all the live scheduling, the schedules, the posting. I do all the graphics myself. If you hear any original music on my channel, that's all my own creation. I write the lyrics, and I work with a couple of programs, a software program and an AI program in order to make the music. I do it all myself, and I don't even have any moderators right now. I just moderate myself. I don't have anybody that I know and trust who can be here regularly to do the moderation. And so I do that. I do my best to respond to as many comments as possible. And of course, I try to make the live play-by-play as interesting as I can. So all of that I actually provide for free. Of course, I do invite you to support the channel by sending a donation. I have several links. I have PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, and of course, there are the super chats and super stickers. You can also become a member and pay a small monthly fee to support the channel. But I do encourage you to at least like the live stream. That would help me out. Tommy Nance on the mound. First pitch is in there for strike 1 to Austin Wells. Nance has a 2-0 record with a 1.99 ERA for the season. Here's the pitch. Wells fouls that one off into the crowd for strike 2. 0-2 is the count. Wells is 1 for 3 today with a single, a run scored, an RBI, and he reached on an error as well. Here's the 0-2 pitch. 86 mile per hour curveball, fouls it off, stays alive. The count remains 0-2. It looks like Schlittler is going to be the Yankees pitcher for the next game if they pull this one out today. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. High and outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 8th. Nobody on, nobody out. Here comes a 1-2 pitch from Nance. That's hit hard into center field, right center. That'll be at least a single. Wells will have to stop it first. But that is a leadoff single for the Yankees on a 1-2 count. Nice hit. Yeah, they're saying the probable starter for Game 4 is Cam Schlittler, who had a great 8 innings versus the Red Sox. Trent Grisham at the plate, the top of the lineup for the Yankees. The top of the batting order, rather. Same difference. 1 ball, no strikes. Nathan Lucas has been brought in for the Blue Jays. He's out in left field. Here comes a 1-0 count. 1-0 count, pitches outside and high. 2-0. I'm surprised that the viewers have not gone up. Still sitting at about 43. Here's the pitch. 86, just slightly outside on the curveball. 3-0 is the count. Tommy Nance is behind in the count. 3-0. Runner on first base, no outs. 3 balls, no strikes. To Trent Grisham, here's the pitch. 95 in the top of the zone, strike 1. 3-1 is the count. $44 likes on the live stream. Just 6 more to go. Here's the pitch. 94 right in there. Trent Grisham looking for that walk. But that's 2 strikes in a row. It's now a full count. 10 pitches now for Nance. 6 in the zone. Toronto is leading this series 2-0 in this best of 5. The Yankees were facing elimination, and it looked like for sure they were going to be knocked out. The Blue Jays were slapping them around early, but they came back, and now they're up 3 runs. Grisham hits this out in the left field deep, all the way out to the warning track. Lucas is challenged right after he comes in the game, and he throws it to second base. Wells goes back to first base, and that's 1 out for Aaron Judge. Batting .331 in the postseason with a 1.145 OPS. Here's the pitch. This is a ground ball to third. No play at second. Barger goes to first and gets Judge on out number 2. Runner gets to second. He's retired on the first pitch. Cody Bellinger comes to the plate. Judge is the entire reason. The main reason, rather. Okay, I'll say that. He's the main reason why the Yankees have a lead today. He's got 4 RBIs, including a 3-run homer. Without that, they would be behind by 1 run. They're going to intentionally walk Cody Bellinger and put him on. So the Yankees have runners on first and second in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs, so that Tommy Nance can face Jose Caballero. Righty on righty. Here's the pitch. A little outside, ball 1. $11 hits for the Yankees in this game so far, 9 for the Blue Jays, but it adds up to 9-6 Yankees. 1 ball, no strikes with 2 outs and 2 runners on. Caballero swings and misses that one. 95-mile-per-hour sinker, and that evens the count 1-1. Oh, we're up to about 50 people watching right now. Thanks for being here. Jose Caballero at the plate with the 1-1 count and 2 outs. 2 runners on. Here's the toss. That's high. 90-mile-per-hour slider misses. 2-1 is the count. You can hear some of the frogs going crazy outside. Wow, it is almost 12:30. Well past lunchtime. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a foul tip miss into the glove of the catcher. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on, first and second. Jose Caballero facing Tommy Nance. 16 pitches now for Nance, 10 in the zone. We'll see if he shuts down the Yankees right here. Oh, it looks like Caballero kind of hurt his wrist on that swing. He's talking with the batting coach right now. Don't know what happened. After that swing, he just put his arm down. He just lowered his arm down. He's wincing in pain. Two balls and two strikes. He's going to stay in there. Looks like he's in a little bit of pain. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the toss. That's a grounder to the right side, and it's going to be through. They're going to stop the runners at second and third. The throw comes in right on. Santander was playing shallow and is able to get that ball back in quick, but now the bases are loaded for Giancarlo Stanton. I wonder if they're going to keep Nance in there to face Stanton. Yep, opposite field hit through the big hole over there on the right side. The Yankees have bases loaded with 2 outs for Stanton. He hits it straight up in the air on the very first pitch on the infield. Who's going to get it? 4 guys, 3 guys are over. And they finally back off and let the second baseman take it, and that's out number 3. They get out of a jam there. Kind of lucky. Jays fans holding their breath. They were already down by 3. With bases loaded and Stanton at the plate, they get lucky. They dodge a bullet there. So this is the last opportunity for the Toronto Blue Jays, everybody. It's the top of the 9th coming up. More than likely, David Bednar will still be on the mound for the Yankees. We're getting close to the end of this game. George Springer, the very top of the Blue Jays lineup, is going to lead it off. Springer today is 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Nathan Lucas is on deck. And then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will follow. This is the last chance for the Blue Jays in this game to sweep the series. Either the Yankees are going to go home with a tragic loss and come back with the Blue Jays in the 9th inning and maybe even extra innings, or they're going to hold off the Blue Jays, take game 3, and extend the series to a game 4 and have a chance to stay alive. We'll see. Either way, I'd appreciate your like on the live stream. Let's see. How many likes? Did we get to 50? We are 3 away from 50. 3 likes away from 50. So I would appreciate you putting that extra like on there. Oh, speaking of like, it looks like I need to make my... There we go. That's better. It was kind of blocking the batter. I can make that a little smaller over on the left side too. Yeah, that's better. There we go. I guess I can fix it over there as well. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's fixed. Daryl says the Blue Jays fall short. Same prediction for the Tigers, right? They fall a little short. Daryl, do you think that the Blue Jays will score any runs this inning? I wonder that myself. Springer's at the plate. First pitch is a curveball right in there, 77 miles an hour, strike 1. Yankees bullpen 12.19 series ERA coming into today. But today they've had good success against the Blue Jays. It's funny that they were giving up. They're having an ERA of 12.19 until today. 1 ball, 1 strike to Springer. Here's the toss. Swing and a miss, 92 mile per hour. Splitter. Maybe 1 run. Okay. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Springer. Springer hasn't done anything in this game. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out, and he's gonna fail for the game. Springer has done absolutely nothing this game. Every pitcher for the Yankees has at least 1 strikeout so far in this game. Nathan Lucas comes to the plate next. 2 outs remaining. The Blue Jays have a 3-run deficit to overcome. Batting .255 for the season. He fouls this one off. This is the first bat of the game for Lucas. 98 miles an hour on that pitch. 0-1 is the count. 10 pitches now for Bednar. 8 in the zone. Here's the pitch. Whoa, up and in. Did he hit him? Did he swing at that? Holy cow. No, he didn't swing. That happened so fast. It's 1-1 is the count. That was so far up and in. Crazy. Blue Jays have made a call to the bullpen. That's interesting. They're getting somebody warmed up. Who knows? Here's a 1-1 pitch from Bednar. That's in there. Beautiful curveball, 79 miles an hour. How do you not swing at that? I don't understand that. I really don't. As a guy who had really great success hitting curveballs, and I mean curveballs from some really good pitchers, I don't understand not swinging at those in the MLB. There's one thing I can hit is a good curveball. I'm good at hitting the curveballs. I can just see them right out of the hand. I don't know what it was about that, but I can hit those better than anything. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Strike 3 in the top of the zone. 92, right at the top of the zone. And Nathan Lucas has some choice words for the umpire. The umpire kind of stares him down. But that was a strike, my friend. You got to swing at that. That was right across, right underneath the chest there. That's out number 2. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate. 98 miles an hour. The crowd boos as he comes to the plate. 2 for 3 with a 2-run homer, a single, a couple of runs since then. Early on, he was on, but not much recently. Low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. The Yankees 1 out away from taking this game and staying in this series. Bednar with 2 balls and no strikes to Guerrero. Nobody on. Here's the pitch. Misses with that curve. That was a nice looking curve, but a little high. 3 balls and no strikes. Alejandro Kirk on deck. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. That's in there. 98 miles an hour. A steamer right down the middle. Doug, I am with you 100%. You've probably heard me say it 100 times with the Astros. If you got 2 strikes, you got to swing. If it's close, you have no choice. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Ooh, speaking of swinging, Guerrero swings at that one right on the outside edge, 98 miles an hour, a foul tip into the glove of the catcher. And it is a full count. This is the last breath for the Blue Jays in this game. Here's the toss. Fouls it off on the inside and off of his foot. 98 miles an hour. Yeah, but Doug says about that last pitch to Lucas. It was a close pitch, but with 2 strikes, he should have swung. Truer words not spoken. Here comes another 3-2 pitch to Guerrero Jr. That's grounded to the left side, a diving catch, and he fires it over to first base. Caballero with a great defensive play to end the inning and the game. What a great catch. The ball was going through that hole, and he was able to get it, jump right up, and fire it over to first base. And the Yankees, on the back of Aaron Judge, come back and win this game 9-6 over the over the Blue Jays. What a comeback. And what a performance by their relievers, who were completely beat up this whole series by the Blue Jays. Wow. So this series is now 2-1 Blue Jays, and it is extended. So there will be another game tomorrow in New York. Yankees are going to need 2 more games to win this series. Blue Jays just need 1, but they don't need to sit on their hands. If they just sit on their hands, yeah, this last play to end the game was a good play. It's just a nice, solid defensive play. Diving catch, jumped right up, fired it over to first. You gotta give your hats off to that. Great offense by Judge, and a little bit of good defense to end the game. Don't care for the fans in the stadium there, but hats off to the Yankees for having a good game. The final hits for the Yankees, 12 hits, 9 for the Blue Jays, 9-6. Right off the bat, with a 2-run homer, the Blue Jays took the lead in the first inning. Guerrero Jr. hit it out, and then the Yankees answered with 1 run. In the second inning, nothing happened for either team. And then in the third inning, the Blue Jays started just lighting it up. They scored 4 runs, and it was really quiet in the stadium. It was looking like the Yankees were just going to get stomped again by the Blue Jays. That's seriously what it was looking like. It was 6-1. But in the bottom of the third, the Yankees began their comeback. They scored 2 runs, and then suddenly they have the lead. It was 6-3. In the fourth inning, all the way through the end, from the 4th through the 9th inning, the Blue Jays never scored again. They just stopped scoring runs in the third. And the crazy thing is that the one thing that you would not expect happened. The Yankees relief pitchers that came in completely shut down the Blue Jays. They couldn't score any more runs. Before today, the Yankees pitchers, the Yankees relievers, had an ERA of 12.19. That's absolutely insane. But today, between the 4th inning and the 9th inning, they gave up 0 runs, not a single run. And every Yankee pitcher that came in had at least 1 strikeout. Now, on the offensive side, the Yankees kept scoring. So after scoring 2 in the third to make it 6-3, they scored 3 more in the 4th to tie it up. 2 in the 5th to take a 2-run lead, added 1 more run in the 6th to make it a 3-run lead, and after that, it was over. What a game. And today has been a crazy day for games. The Mariners, I could show this to you here. The Mariners and the Tigers game, 8-4. The Mariners just whipped the Tigers, and the Tigers tried to mount a comeback in the 9th inning, but right when it looked like they might score some more runs, they lined out into a double play at first base, and they lost it right there at the end. But they fell way short. They were too far behind, and they couldn't come back. So right now, you can see the series, the Mariners Tigers series, game 1. Let me refresh. It says the game is live. The game is not live. Let me refresh it. Sorry about that. There we go. That's better. Let me move it over so you can see the results. Can I make that a little smaller? I think I can. I think I can fit that on the screen. I'll try. Maybe if I zoom out. Let's try that. Yes, that works. Good. Woohoo! So if you take a look at this, game 1, the Tigers won 3-2. Mariners won game 2, 3-2. Very close games. But then the Mariners just lit it up in game 3. And this is the danger that the Mariners have. They have a lot of firepower. So if their hitters have a good game, they only need a few hitters to be on fire, and they will just light it up. And that's what they did today. They lead the series 2-1. Game 2 is tomorrow. You can ignore the date right there. The date says October 9th. For me, it's October 9th. For everyone in the U.S., it's October 8th. So you can ignore the date there. But game 4 is tomorrow. The Mariners will have a chance to end the series and get their first trip to the ALCS in how long? I don't know. 1,000 years? Something like that. But they lead the series 2-1. Now, if we go back up here, let's take a look at the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Wow, so much scoring going on in this game. 9-6. I think we can look at the where's the scoreboard? Let me click on the MLB here. Playoff scores. Schedule. Let's take a look at the schedule. Let's see. So for tomorrow, these games are much nicer. Well, the Seattle-Detroit game is still too early. But whatever. I can cover it. I'll be here tomorrow. This game for me is at 4:08 a.m. Seattle and Detroit. So I'll see you all for that game. And then Toronto and New York at 8 o'clock. So the Tigers are facing elimination at the hands of the Mariners tomorrow. And the Yankees are once again facing a second possible elimination game at the hands of the Blue Jays. So we'll see how that goes. Now, in the NL, the Cubs, how are the Cubs, I guess the Cubs and the yeah, that's right. The Cubs and the Dodgers don't play today against the Brewers and the Phillies. They'll play tomorrow. But the Dodgers are up 2 over the Phillies, unfortunately. But thankfully, the Brewers are up 2 over the Cubs, so that's fine. That's fine. But that's where it stands right now. What's the final count on the likes? Did I get to 50? Did you guys help me get to 50? We'll see. 48. Two shy of 50. Are you kidding me? Didn't get to 50. Yeah, thanks, Daryl. Daryl says, I think the Blue Jays get it done. We'll see tomorrow. They should. I just don't see the Yankees getting lucky again. I mean, they had a good game today. It wasn't just luck, it was some skill. But overall, the Blue Jays, just a stronger team. Even though they lost, they didn't have a bad game on the offensive side. They did get shut down, but they put up 6 runs on the board early. 6 runs is nothing. They had a pitching breakdown is what it was. But otherwise, normally when you score 6 runs, you win the game, right? And I think that when the Blue Jays score 6 runs, they rarely lose this year, you know? But, Daryl, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and that's the same for everyone else. I do appreciate all of you being here today for both of these live streams, for the earlier live stream and for this live stream. I've already got the other one scheduled for tomorrow, so I hope to see you there for both the Tigers Mariners game, game 4 tomorrow, and for the Yankees Blue Jays game 4. I will see you here tomorrow morning. And thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments and the interaction. And deeply appreciate the donations, the super chats, and all of the support. That's it for today. I'm going to go and make myself something to eat, some bacon and eggs, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. That's it for now. I want to, almost said go Stros, but there's no Astros game right now. Go Stros anyway. But thank you for joining. And I can say this, let's go.